to me? What are you doing? What are you doing to me? What are you doing now? What are you doing to me? What are you doing now? What are you doing to me? What are you doing now?
Well, I know that dress is karma, perfume regret.
Good morning, everybody. Or if it's evening, or if it's night. Hello, I'm here. I am back with episode 9 of the Katie Loves Voiceplay podcast. And today, we are talking about the beautiful, the amazing, the fantastically talented Miss Rachel Potter. Now, here's what I know about Rachel. I've said it before. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, and she has been a really big collaborator when it comes to working with Voiceplay. Like, she has done, let me go through my list here. Yes, I have a list. This is how I've done my research. I did my research now. So, good old coffee slurp. So, Rachel Potter, she has done I Knew You Were Trouble, Chandelier, Phantom of the Opera, Attention, Moana, Oh Holy Night, twice, Little Mermaid, Kidnap the Santa Claus, Wicked, and The Greatest Showman. And I do not think that I have missed any. If I did, that would probably be pretty bad. But I went through, on YouTube, Voiceplay's channel, and I pinned out every single, first I separated every single collaborator, and then I put each video that they had done with Voiceplay. So, and I'm not going to go in chronological order because I'm organized, but I'm not that organized. And I'm OCD, but I'm not that OCD. So, so let's get into Rachel. I guess I would start with, well, since Phantom was the introductory video for me to Voiceplay, I guess that was how I discovered her as well. Of course, didn't know who she was, and I did not think that she would be put into this much use into Voiceplay's videos, and I can see why. Every video that I have watched that has had Rachel Potter in it, I have just been blown away every single time. And she just brings it every single time. She just always brings it. And every time I listen to her, I'm like, Rachel, oh my gosh. Like, that was insane. But it's also just amazing the way that she can do that. And yes, she has a fair bit of a Broadway background, as I've been told, which makes sense. Just go listen to Little Mermaid medley if you don't believe me. I'll put the link in the description. Yeah, her range is very spans. It spans a lot. And, like I say, with every collaborator that I've ever listened to, I'm always like, have I heard everything that they have done? No, I have not. So then Phantom was kind of the beginning for me, and then kind of just focused on Voiceplay mostly. And then, I didn't go all the way back to, like, I Knew You Were Trouble and Chandelier. I did eventually, but I think I went more on to Moana, because it was making it fairly big, like after Phantom of the Opera had already destroyed Facebook and YouTube. I went on to Moana, and I'm like, oh my god, this girl, she is just incredible. Like, they have to keep her. And, so then I went back, and then I listened to I Knew You Were Trouble, Chandelier, Attention. Once I started listening to Attention, the replays, they never quit. Not only do our boys sound absolutely fantastic in that one, but Rachel just brings an extra element to it. sorry about how I'm talking today. I mean, it's still early in the morning and I'm having my coffee, so give me a break. Gotta drink that before it gets cold. Yeah, so then there was a tension, and then I went back, and then eventually I went to, Peppermint Winter, I believe, and then, a little bit of, part work, and, then I kind of went into Old Little Town of Bethlehem, and then I think it was Old Little Town of Bethlehem that I went into Oh Holy Night. I was like, oh my gosh, Jeff, just in that higher range, right? And it's just, it's just so melodious, let's say. And then Rachel comes in and just blasts the ever-living hell out of the high parts. And I'm just like, girl, please, leave some room for the talent. But no, they know how to showcase her very, very well. Sorry about all the clearing in my throat, you guys. I got a frog in there. I got something happening in there, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so then after Oh Holy Night, it was Little Mermaid, obviously, because I think that was, like, the next in the release. Could have been Kidnap. Like I said, I don't have this in chronological order, but yeah, Little Mermaid medley, oh my god. If I hadn't seen the video, I can't say if I would be that impressed. But the video, it's hilarious. It's amazing. Absolutely crazy. And, yeah, Rachel, I think I would say probably close to the very end for Rachel in that one. Not only is she amazing character-wise, because she manages to go from Ariel to Vanessa, I absolutely love her portrayal of Vanessa because she just made it so more menacing and so more, she put a little bit more of that growl into her voice that just brought out that villain for her. And I love that. And, she always gives me chills all the time. And like I said with Little Mermaid, at the end, she hits some sort of a run that, in Part of Your World, and, I get goosebumps. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, okay, Rachel, like, stop. So, and then moving on, Kidnap the Santa Claus. The makeup, very, very, very well done. And I give Rachel huge credit because she recorded this one when she was pregnant. Well, of course, with Little Mermaid and Kidnap, both of those were before her son was born, I believe. Yeah, because Little Mermaid was when I think she was like about maybe like 6 months? Possibly. And then Kidnap was like when she was close. So then that was like why they couldn't have her in for collaborations anymore, because she was A, about to pop, and B, this whole pandemic thing. And she also lived in Tennessee, so she couldn't move. She couldn't just fly right down there because it was like, oh, well, like, you need this or you need that, and like all of the precautions, whatever. So yeah, that was kind of sad because after Jay left, they had a lot of openings and they couldn't get Rachel in to fill that hole, right? So, and I was like, come on, you guys, you need Rachel as a 5th member. You're leaving that 5th open, so why not fill it with Rachel Potter? But I understand she has a lot of other things to do, and I don't know. I mean, but as for like the most collaborations, Rachel's done probably the most with Voiceplay at this point. And it's amazing to see her in all of them, obviously. So now we're moving on to Wicked, and this one has, not only does it have Rachel Potter, but it also has Miss Imani Wilkins, and both of them together, I thought I almost died. Jeff made amazing choices with having Rachel and Imani as Glenda, and Elphaba. And although I haven't seen the full entire musical of Wicked, I've listened to the soundtrack, and when I heard Idina Menzel when she was in it, blew me away. Totally blew me away. And then I listened to Wicked by Voiceplay, and I was like, okay, I knew that this one was kind of already had been like a dream thing, like a dream sequence, like it was gonna come to be, and then Jeff had said that it was like, well, I kind of put it on the back burner because they just had so many other projects that were lined up, and then he just, like either didn't have time, but it was worth it. The amount of work and time that went into that one specifically, I mean, it took them 4 hours just to hang the backdrop that was going to be used in the overall video. So that's dedication right there. And then, of course, there was lighting, and there's, just all of those other perks, makeup and whatnot. And, once that one came onto YouTube, I did not think, I don't know, like, Voiceplay has been making me cry lately, and, with good reason. And, that one specifically, when I got to the For Good part of the medley, I was like, oh god. Because I just kept on thinking about the Voiceplay family and how you guys have changed my life with listening to these amazing, amazing people and listening to the amazing collaborators that they get to work with, every month or so. And, it's just like, yep, I've been changed for the better because I know you guys and I've known Voiceplay, so it's always fun. Yeah, I'm getting a little philosophical here. I'm gonna continue on going. Getting back to Rachel here, people. And I don't know, I don't know how Jeff managed to do the rehearsal take on Wicked when he recorded it for the first time, because, good lord, if you listen to Rachel Potter's parts, I'm like, if Jeff had to sing all of that, not that he could do it. I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't, but it just probably wouldn't be at the same level as Rachel. Thinking he might have maybe called Hannah up and said, hey, you want to sing this for me? Which is fine. Completely understand. Because that final run, dear lord, it's like, even I can't hit, well, I mean, I've never been able to hit soprano or anything in that higher range up there. But just to wrap my head around Jeff possibly doing it makes me laugh, but it also makes me realize that it's like, you really have a lot of passion for this, don't you? If you're willing to put yourself through that position. So, it's absolutely incredible. And she recorded the vocals separately. I mean, she worked her tail off. Like, not that everybody else did, but she worked her tail off, and she managed to get laryngitis after recording her vocals. So what does that tell you? She put in so much passion for it that she got laryngitis. And she was sick on the day of filming for the video. So it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, they had a lot of fun with that one. And I guess moving on here. I mean, I could talk forever about Wicked because it's so good. I'll post that one in the description too, as well as Rachel's YouTube channel. The Greatest Showman. Okay, I have not been listening to this one a lot of late. Because it's still one of those ones it's in its youth process for me. And then it's like, okay, I've listened to it once and then I forget about it. So now I'm going to go back and re-listen. But again, with that one, the set was all handmade. It was all hand done. Like, we're talking, going back to Phantom and possibly getting injured on the set type of thing. Except, I don't think you can really hurt yourself with painting. I don't think. I really haven't seen people get hurt with paint. I hope not. So, yeah, Greatest Showman was good. Really good medley, really good, well job done by Lane, obviously. And, when Caesar started to sing This Is Me, I lost it. I cried. Because that one is a more personal song for me, and it has a more personal backstory for me. And, I put it in the comments. I mean, it's not that personal anymore. But, I put it in the comments, and, if they saw it, that's great. If they didn't, that's okay too. But yeah, that moment made me cry. Especially because it was Caesar who was singing that specific line, and I'm like, ah, there we go. And Rachel was beautiful in that video, as she always is in every video that she's in. Yeah. The dress in that one was just absolutely out of this world. Kind of like bridal-ish, but also it sticks with the main theme of the actual movie. Need to go and watch that movie again. I mean, I didn't watch it a lot. Well, I did watch it once, and I couldn't really follow the story that much. I mean, yes, it's the story of P.T. Barnum and circus folk, and I get it. But the music is what stayed with me more than the movie did. So maybe that's why. Maybe I should go back and re-listen to the soundtrack, refamiliarize myself with it. But yes, you guys ever realize that during that whole entire video, they had Ellie, who is probably the shortest out of Voiceplay. I don't know. I don't even know if Caesar's taller than him or if they're maybe the same height. I don't know. But they had Ellie, who was on stilts. They didn't have him stand throughout the whole entire video. They had him sitting the whole entire time. And once my brain figured that out, I laughed until my ribcage hurt. I was like, that's a brilliant move, but also it's like kind of mean. But I think Ellie was in on the joke. I mean, he was in on the joke because those long pants. Like I said, you guys gotta join Patreon. There's so much that I could say, but I can't because I'd get in trouble. Yeah, and Greatest Showman. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back to Chandelier. And, like, this was back in kind of baby time of Voiceplay. Like, when they first kind of started collaborating with people. And, I had heard original Chandelier by Sia and absolutely loved it. And then hearing Rachel do it, I was like, whoa, okay. She's got some skills. She's got some. Well, like, I already knew that she had skill, and I already knew that she had talent. So I was like, I'm just gonna go back and see how she did with it. Because, the majority of Voiceplay's videos, had that specific video as, like, kind of the return for returning subscribers kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I keep on hearing Rachel screaming in my ears. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna go check out Chandelier. And once I checked it out, I'm like, girl, please. It's just so amazing. She's amazing. And everything she does is just perfection. And then going back to I Knew You Were Trouble, the interesting thing about I Knew You Were Trouble, is that not only is Jeff doing some of the percussion, I guess. I guess you would call that percussion, like, tapping on his chest along with everything else. I thought that was a unique touch. And then also having Rachel sing into a megaphone, which, kind of give it that reverb, but also that kind of echo to her voice in that specific one, just kind of like having her blast the message out that it's like, you're trouble, and I'm not going to stand for it. And Rachel has a good sense of humor. She has a good sense of humor, and it's always good to see her goofing off with the boys just as much. Yeah, like, and I always find it's funny whenever I say to people, like in Kidnap, that I'm like, hey, she was pregnant. Like, did you not notice that she was pregnant? And then everybody's like, wait, what? She was pregnant? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, getting close to 8 months, 9 months. Then they're like, what? And it's like, yeah. Well, in the behind the scenes, Jeff is a gentleman, as he always is, but he was really nice to her, and he's like, oh, wow, you're about to, like, just in awe of. And, oh man, trying to remember what, because they've Jude, and, okay, let me see, good old handy Instagram, let me go back and, look her up real quick, the Rachel Potter, follow her on Instagram. So there's, oh, Elliot and Jude, I think. Why do I always think Ronan or something? Yeah, Jude and Elliot. Okay, got it. Yeah, and I was also sad to find out that she had lost her brother, unexpectedly. I think it was this year? Was it this year? Last year? Yeah, it was this year, last year. In December, she lost her brother, very suddenly. And, once I read the post, I was like, I'm crying with her, because it's just like somebody who's that amazing and that, super pretty. Oh my God, she's super pretty. It was just a very, very sad time for her. Let me talk about Rachel and just how pretty she is. Not only is she pretty in voice, but she's also pretty in looks as well. And, she could easily fit into the American Sirens, I think, if they were ever looking for somebody American Sirens. Because I know Lindsay in American Sirens, she's been on maternity leave because she had her baby. Her and EJ Cardona had their baby. So, which, was completely a mind poop to me because I didn't know that she was in the American Sirens, and then I also didn't know that EJ was her husband. So I'm like, oh, well, it all makes sense now. Go into the circle of Voiceplay and you find all of these people that it's like they've known or they've grown up with. Like, I think it was just the other day I found out that it was like Scott, Paul, and Eric. They had all been doing a thing together for X amount of years, and it's like, okay. It's like, yeah, you guys know everybody. And like, I only know EJ through Caesar, because Caesar knows Omar, which is EJ's brother. So, and I got distracted here. So, yeah, so there's I Know You Have Trouble, Chandelier, Phantom. Speaking of Phantom, I had my doubts. I was like, I don't know if anybody is going to be able to make this sound as good as, say, like Sarah Brightman, because she was probably like the original Christina for Broadway, and Rachel hit it out of the park. And Voiceplay too. I mean, when I listen to it now, I'm like, oh my God. Like at the beginning, I was like, meh, but now I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. So, Rachel is pretty. She's amazing. She's talented, a phenomenal mom, phenomenal wife, and a phenomenal collaborator. I even checked out her channel, and yeah, I've gotten a couple of likes from her too. I've gotten a couple of hearts and a couple of likes from her, because I don't remember what exactly it is that I had said to her, but it's always been fun when I've gotten things liked by Rachel Potter. And then I almost got followed by a Rachel Potter account, but it was a fakie. Along with a fake Jeff. I've had a couple fake Jeffs follow me lately, and it's like, just quit it. I don't need those in my life. But, yeah. I think that about wraps it up for Rachel. And now I'm gonna try to figure out if I want to do like a whole episode on the collaborators. That would be a very long episode. super, super long. But I think maybe if I just go one by one, it probably should be okay. I mean, maybe some of them will be shorter than others, I don't know, because just depending on what information I have at hand and also what I know. So, yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope I covered a lot on Rachel. I don't have the words to express how amazing she is, and I've been so happy to have discovered her. And I'm not the hugest Frozen fan, but her cover of Let It Go, superb. Chef's kiss. It's something else. So you have to check that out. And thank you guys for watching. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a like, give me a comment, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
I know that dress is karma, perfume regret.
Got me thinking about when you were mine. You just want attention. You don't